Hey everybody, it's Lisa from Lisa Bug Fitness and Yoga. Today is August 19th, 2024, and it is 1 week post-op total left hip replacement, 7 weeks post-op total right hip replacement, and 11 months post-op left knee replacement. I tell you what, if I went back a year ago from now, I would have had no idea that I'd be facing 3 joint replacements in less than a year. But hey, may as well get them over and done all at the same time, pretty much. But and the right knee, I'll have to have it done at some point in time, but I am not even thinking about that. Not going to go there, hopefully, for a long while. But I just wanted to give you an update on how I'm doing 1 week post-op on the left hip. And it's been a painful week. I think I've said this on the knee replacement. I said it on the right hip replacement. And you would think that I'd be used to this by now. But I think your brain kind of compartmentalizes pain. It hides it away somewhere in a little box and you try to forget it. Because this time I thought, gosh, why am I in so much pain? This is so much worse than the last hip. But you know, as I go back and watch my videos and kind of think about it a little bit more, it's probably not a lot worse. It's probably that my brain just tried to forget that pain. But this first week is really rough, and I must say that, you know, I think it was a little bit worse right at the beginning because it actually brought me to tears, which hadn't happened on the other hip. But surgery went well. Came home from the hospital the next morning and tried to get out of the car after stopping by the polls to vote. That was important to me, so I said, let's not go home first, let's go to the polls to vote. And luckily they had curbside voting. They brought the ballot out to me. It was great. But after getting home, picking up my meds first, and then coming home, I'd been in the car for a little bit. Getting out of the car, oh my gosh, just to try to move my leg a small amount, I started sobbing. I felt so bad for Dave because I think he just thought there's nothing I can do to help her. And if I try to help her, then I'm hurting her more, because if he would try to move my legs, I'd say, stop. But so those first couple days, again, you just feel like you've been hit by a truck. But the pain is starting to ease up a little bit. It's far from being gone. And again, it kind of just depends on how much you do during the day, and also how much you don't do, because I find if I do too much, walking around, moving, that kind of thing, then I get it all irritated and angry. But if I don't do enough and I just sit and, watch TV for a couple of hours, fall asleep for a couple of hours on the couch, and then I try to get up, and it's the same. It's just really bad. So again, it's that balance between rest and moving and icing and staying on that pain med protocol and trying to get enough sleep, eating good meals. All of that is key. And I think I said this with my knee replacement, but it's almost a full-time job to go through these joint replacement surgeries. But what's interesting is, and I kind of expected this, but I didn't know how it was going to feel. So when I had the right hip replaced 7 weeks ago, I could tell that my right leg was longer. It felt longer. And Dr. Mayer said, don't get freaked out about this. This is going to happen because your cartilage has deteriorated over the years, so your leg was actually shorter than the other one, but you compensated over time, so you didn't really feel that. So he said, when I replace this right hip, it's going to feel like your leg is longer, and it will be, to some degree. He said, but don't worry about it. Then when I replace your left hip, they won't feel exactly the same right at the beginning. Your left hip is going to feel a little longer, and then it will take some time, but it will just kind of equilibrate. Is that a word? It will get back to normal. And so that was so strange because for 6 weeks I had been walking with this right leg feeling longer, and then I, do my first walk in the hospital with the walker, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, now my left leg feels longer. This feels so weird. And it's also strange to go from your left side being your good side to now the right side being the good side, but it's not totally better. So that's been interesting to kind of work around. And the first couple of days after left hip surgery, I almost completely forgot about my right hip. I thought, oh my gosh, it doesn't even feel like I had surgery. It feels so great. But that was kind of because I wasn't doing a lot of using that side to help me. And now that I'm up doing things a little bit more and moving toward just using one crutch, doing stairs up and down with my right hip, which was just replaced 7 weeks ago, it's back to feeling sore and just kind of overused, but it's not in a bad way. But there's some soreness there because, that hip's still pretty new. So, boy, this is it's an interesting journey. And the first couple of days after this left hip, I thought, what have I done? Why did I do this 6 weeks apart? Why did I do this so soon? And I was just second guessing myself and kind of kicking myself in the pants for doing this and saying, oh, it wasn't that bad. I could have waited another year and done it next year. And then I thought, no, as fast as this right hip advanced into that advanced arthritis stage, the left one could have done the same thing. And then there I would be, maybe down in Florida without the ability to have my surgery, and then limping and in pain. So I am glad I made this decision now 1 week post-op when it's not quite so acute in terms of the pain. But I can say I feel like I did the right thing for me, and that in a few months from now, I'm going to really be feeling good, getting my strength back, getting my life back, getting pretty well back to normal. So I'm happy about that. So with today at 1 week post-op, I can remove the dressing. And I don't remember if I showed you the dressing last time, so let's just do it. Let's just show you the dressing. If you want to close your eyes for a second, that's okay too. So the dressing, I had the anterolateral, and so it's on the outside of the hip. So there's the dressing. So I have the option of removing that today, and then I can use some antiseptic on it. It will have steri strips on the incision, but when I removed the one on the right side, when I pulled that bandage off, which is called an Aquacell bandage, it's a waterproof bandage that is antibacterial, antimicrobial, so it helps you from getting an infection. So when I took that off on the right side, all the steri strips just came right off with it. So that may happen this time, it may not. Maybe the steri strips will stay there, and then you don't pull those off, you just wait until they kind of come off on their own. So then I have to redress it with some gauze. And then 1 week from today, I go in for my post-op with Cody, and I'll have an x-ray with matching pair of hips, matching pair of hip replacements. So that'll be cool to see that x-ray and just make sure everything looks like it's in the right spot and doing good. So I'm hopeful on that. In terms of getting back to my classes and teaching, for those of you that are on my Lisa Bug group, which is my online private business platform that I post to YouTube, those of you that do those classes with me live, my guess is that I'm going to be ready to rock and roll with my schedule again, Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 9 o'clock on the first week of September. So right after Labor Day, I'm hoping to be able to start teaching back those 2 classes per week. And then in terms of my Blaisdell YMCA reformer classes, Same thing, that week of the first week of September, the Y's closed on the 2nd, so on Labor Day there's no classes, but on that Wednesday when I teach my reformer classes, I'll be there for you. That's my plan and my hope. So that's a little bit more than 2 weeks from now. I should be released to drive just fine and all of that. So, and then in terms of my virtual Y classes, I won't add anything new to the schedule because I'll be going down to Florida in a couple months, maybe 2.5 months, but I'll be doing some subbing, and I've already committed to teaching for my friend Ellen. She's having surgery as well, and she had 14 classes that she needed covered in the month of September. So the first class that I teach I'll be 5 weeks post-op on the new hip. So I'm hoping that's going to go without a hitch and that I'll be ready. It's a good goal to work toward. I think it's doable. I don't think I'm biting off more than I can chew. But if I get to the point where, it's coming up and I'm feeling like I'm not ready, then I can reach out and have somebody else cover those classes for me. But I think that should be pretty good. I've been getting out and about, watching some live music. Sitting in a wheelchair, and the Minnesota State Fair starts this week on Thursday. It's something we always do. We usually go out at least 5 days for the fair. This time I just bought 2 days worth of tickets, and we'll just see how I'm feeling. Probably be out there in a wheelchair as well, because it's a lot of walking at the State Fair, going back and forth to the music stages, which is what we like to do. So I'll be taking it easy this year for State Fair, but come next year, I'll be ready to be back out on the dance floor. So anyway, I think that's it for my update. Just wanted to let you know how I'm doing, and I'm staying positive, and really looking forward to getting back to being 100%. I've got a way to go yet, but I'll get there. Thanks everybody for following along and all of your inspirational and encouraging comments. I'll talk to you next time. Stay strong, knee and hip warriors, and take care.